Welcome to the Deep Dive. We explore, well, compelling questions and sometimes surprising insights from the world of data. And today we're diving into something that might look pretty simple on the surface, but it actually holds some genuinely surprising potential for your career, especially in the modern data stack. So here's a question for you. What if I told you that getting good with what seems like just a straightforward data ingestion tool, what if that could open doors to, say, analytics engineering, maybe platform architecture, or even strategic data leadership roles? We are talking about Stitch data. In today's modern data stack, it feels like tools are always coming and going, right? But it's really how you use them that defines where you go professionally. And Stitch, well, it's become a favorite for a lot of places needing quick, reliable data ingestion. And for many data folks, it's often that very first step into a much, much bigger journey. So maybe you're using Stitch right now. Or perhaps you're building teams that rely on it. You might be wondering, what's the real potential here? Our mission today is basically to explore exactly where working with Stitch can, really take you next.
Yeah. And what's kind of counterintuitive here, I think, and where you see the biggest career jumps happen, is realizing something important. Stitch is great at getting data into your warehouse fast, no doubt. But that's really only the very, very beginning. The actual value and, crucially, the most significant career growth, that doesn't just come from setting up that initial ingestion pipeline. It absolutely comes from what you do after the data lands. Think about it like this. Someone who only, let's say, manages the ingestion bit, they might be seen primarily as a configurator, which is fine, but limited. But the engineers who move beyond that, the ones who deeply understand what happens downstream, they transform into, well, essential data engineers. We're talking about people who really grasp concepts like cost optimization within your cloud warehouse. They get how inefficient queries can blow up budgets. They master pipeline reliability, keeping things consistent, making sure data is there when needed. And they get really good at sophisticated data modeling, which is just foundational for any meaningful analytics.
That's a really crucial distinction. So, okay, for someone who might feel like they're quote unquote just setting up Stitch connectors, how does focusing on these downstream skills practically change things for them day to day and more importantly, their career path?
It really boils down to shifting your mindset. Instead of thinking, okay, my job is done when the data lands in the warehouse, you start asking different questions. Questions like, how can I make this data that just landed actually useful and efficient and reliable for everyone who needs it downstream? So this means layering in mastery of tools like, say, dbt. That lets you turn potentially messy raw data into solid production-ready data sets that people can actually use to make big decisions. It means really honing your advanced SQL skills too, not just for basic querying, but for complex, efficient transformations right inside powerful warehouses like Snowflake or BigQuery. I mean, I've seen places spend months perfecting their Stitch setup, only to find the real bottleneck wasn't ingestion at all. It was maybe one single super inefficient dbt model that was taking hours to run. And that's the difference, right, between just moving data around and actually enabling actionable insight.
That's a powerful point, especially about those hidden costs and bottlenecks downstream. Okay, so let's connect this to the bigger picture. For folks leading data teams, how does this change how you spot talent or how you
Uh,
nurture it?
Yeah, it's a great question. It becomes your chance as a leader to look for those team members who don't just manage Stitch. You want the ones who are thinking about the whole flow. People who understand how their choices with the ingestion tool actually affect everything else. From the source systems through all the transformations, right up to the final BI dashboards. Those are the individuals who are really poised to become your future senior engineers, your architects, your platform leaders. So the key insight here, I think, whether you're the one looking for a job or you're the one hiring, it isn't just about using Stitch. It's about truly mastering what comes next. So to reiterate that core idea, the real career acceleration, the real value add, doesn't just come from using Stitch simply for ingestion. It's genuinely about what you do after that data is in the warehouse, mastering those downstream elements, things like dbt, advanced SQL, really leveraging cloud warehouses like Snowflake or BigQuery. Effectively, that's what transforms someone from, a configurator into an absolutely essential engineer, someone who gets the critical stuff. Cost optimization, pipeline reliability, solid data modeling, and the whole downstream transformation process.
Right. So for you listening, think about this. How can you turn your own experience with Stitch, whether it's current or maybe something you'll do in the future, into a real career catalyst? It seems the key is focusing on becoming that crucial bridge between ingestion and insight. That applies whether you're an individual contributor honing your skills or a team leader trying to identify and grow that kind of talent. And if you are eager to dive even deeper into this, to explore the specific skills, the different growth paths, and maybe the opportunities opportunities that make Stitch more than just a basic ELT tool, we definitely encourage you to check out the full blog post on this. You can find it over at Curate Partners. Just head to curatepartners.com. And of course, be sure to follow us for more insights like this right at the intersection of data careers and the constantly changing modern tech stack.